Welcome back to the Foundry by Forge College. I'm super excited you're here today. So if you joined us for the last explainer, you know we covered the fundamentals of bundler implementation, right? We got a really solid grip on the lifecycle states of a transaction. But today we're moving from those raw fundamentals into the actual practical mechanics of managing transaction flow. We're sketching out the blueprint for designing transaction queuing strategies. This is literally where the rubber meets the road. It's how you balance performance, costs, and security in your bundler. To really wrap our heads around this, we have to start with a question we've all honestly asked ourselves at some point. Who gets to go first? I want you to imagine incoming Web3 transactions just like that universally frustrating experience of a massive, disorganized crowd of shoppers all piling up at a supermarket checkout line. You know the drill. Everyone wants to pay, everybody thinks their cart is the most important, and the poor cashier can only scan so fast. So, how do we bring some order to all that chaos? And that brings us right to our core definition: the bundler queue. Simply put, this is the mechanism that determines exactly how account abstraction transactions are ordered, prioritized, and eventually batched up before they ever reach the entry point. You can think of this queue as the ultimate traffic cop. It governs how items move from a ready-to-bundle state to actually being submitted. It manages that absolutely critical balance between throughput, meaning how many customers we can get through the checkout, and latency, which is how long they're forced to stand in line. To conquer all this checkout chaos, here is our roadmap for today. First, we'll look at 3 specific queuing strategies. Second, we'll run through some real-world scenarios. Third, we'll tackle security risks. And finally, we'll put it all together in a master comparison table. All right, Section 1, 3 queuing strategies. The 3 core strategies we're going to blueprint today are FIFO, which stands for first in, first out. Then we have fee priority, and finally batch aggregation. Think of these as our standard checkout lane, our VIP express lane, and our giant wholesale club lane. Let's look at the standard lane first. FIFO enforces strict time order, meaning everyone gets served in the exact order they arrive. Now, on the plus side, it gives you a very predictable baseline latency, and honestly, it's incredibly easy to audit. But the downside? Well, it is highly vulnerable to sudden volume bursts. If there's a sudden rush of shoppers, or in our case, transactions, it creates a massive, painfully slow-moving line that just backs up all the way into the aisles. Next up is fee priority. This is your VIP express lane, where the highest bidder essentially gets to cut right to the front. This is awesome because it minimizes the wait time for high-value transactions, which is obviously great for revenue. But here's the catch. It severely risks starving low-fee users. If you implement this, you absolutely must use an aging policy. That means slowly increasing the priority of older transactions over time, because otherwise, the folks standing in line with cheap, low-fee items might literally be stuck there forever while the VIPs just keep cutting in front of them. Our third lane is batch aggregation. This is what I call the wholesale club approach. Here, multiple user operations get crammed into one giant cart so they can share the fixed submission overhead. You're intentionally delaying processing for a very brief window just to fill up the batch. Essentially, you are trading slightly higher latency, making people wait just a tiny bit longer, for absolutely massive per-transaction gas savings. Moving right along to Section 2, real-world scenarios. Let's apply these models. Imagine a high-volume exchange wallet. Their ultimate rallying cry is, I need maximum throughput for my swaps. For an exchange, processing thousands of transactions efficiently and driving down gas costs is vastly more important than microsecond latency. They can totally afford to wait, say, 200 milliseconds to pack a bundle. So for them, that wholesale club lane, batch aggregation, is a perfect fit. But what about a paymaster-sponsored consumer dApp? In this scenario, you've got transactions from low-fee users, but the costs are being covered by a paymaster. If you're using a fee priority queue here, you definitely want to tie that priority directly to the paymaster's reputation or sponsorship score. Why? Because it stops third-party imposters with high fees from constantly cutting the line and starving out your legitimate sponsored shoppers. And then, of course, we have real-time gaming. Gamers are always screaming, I need instant reaction times. For this, extreme responsiveness is everything. A priority queue with that aging factor we talked about earlier is the sweet spot here. It perfectly balances the need for immediate action on high-priority gaming moves against basic fairness, making sure older transactions eventually get processed so the game state doesn't just freeze up for someone. Okay, Section 3, security risks. Time to protect the queue. The big question we have to answer now is, how do we actually stop attackers? You've got to plan for the coupon hoarder who is intentionally trying to hold up the line for everyone else, or the malicious shopper trying to slip a poisoned item into the communal wholesale cart just to ruin the whole batch. Let's break down these defenses. Against a queue filling attack, which is basically a denial of service flood hitting your FIFO or priority queues, your absolute best defense is per origin caps and admission control. It's exactly what it sounds like. You simply limit how many items one specific identity or IP address can place on the conveyor belt at any given time. That cuts off our annoying coupon hoarder immediately. Then there's the danger of a poisoned batch transaction. This is, frankly, the Achilles heel of batch aggregation. One malformed operation can cause the entire bundle to just fail on chain. To stop this from happening, you need strict pre-validation. You really have to heavily scrutinize every single item before it goes into the cart, ensuring it won't trigger a failure that ends up punishing everyone else in that batch. Which brings us to Section 4, the comparison table. Let's balance these trade-offs. All right, here is our master blueprint, all sketched out. Look at the balance here. FIFO gives you predictable latency and moderate throughput, but it desperately needs admission checks. Fee priority gives low latency to the VIPs and high-value throughput, but demands those agent quotas we discussed. And batch aggregation? Well, it gives you massive throughput, but you take a bit of a hit on latency during the batch window, and you absolutely need strict pre-validation. I want you to constantly keep this seesaw effect in mind. If you push latency down, your throughput or gas costs are almost certainly going to go up. So, let's wrap this up with the crucial takeaways from today's explainer, what I like to call our golden rules. First, trade-offs are explicit. You're always balancing latency against throughput and gas, always. Second, security is a first-class metric. Countermeasures aren't optional add-ons, they are foundational to your engineering. And third, micro-benchmark before production. That comparison table we just looked at is a living hypothesis. You must test these strategies with real, simulated workloads before you commit. Which brings us to the end, and honestly, a question for you. Which strategy are you going to prototype next? Take these concepts, pick a blueprint that fits your specific DApp, and get ready, because in our next explainer, we're actually going to be implementing a basic bundler queue right in the code. To dive deeper into this module on integrating bundlers and paymasters, and to keep building your overall Web3 expertise, make sure to head over to forge.college and explore all our resources. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.